This morning I came outside to feed the fish and I had a pretty terrible surprise. I came out and laying on the ground right here in front of the main pond, you can still see some blood and the scale was rewa, who's my largest, oldest fish. He had jumped out sometime during the night and it appeared to be totally dead. So I was, I was heartbroken. It was a very beautiful animal and very special to me, and had him for a long time. I was hoping to keep him strong and healthy for many years. So I picked him up off the ground and just started planning for a memorial and burial process for him. And in the meantime, put him over here, and this is my quarantine tank. And then I came back to look at him, and I thought I just noticed the faintest flicker of movement to his gills. So what I ended up doing is I put an aerator in the water in front of him, and I've put a little pump directed towards him. So it's passing water over his gills. When I first put him in there, I put the pump up to his mouth to kind of jumpstart the flow of water, oxygenating his gills, see if we could bring him back. And the water's cold. It's like 50 degrees, and I had my arms in there for 20 minutes trying to get him all situated. But right now he's just resting with a gentle flow of water over him. And you might be able to see every once in a while he's starting to have a little bit of movement. I put the bubbler in front of him. I know it's not super visible, but there's a current of water moving towards his open mouth. So that's hopefully getting some good oxygenated water over his gills. And it's been almost an hour. We're starting to see a little bit of movement here and there. Probably you can see his gill flap moving, pec fin a little bit. I had a really tragic loss of another beautiful sanke recently. And so it was just like too much for me. So I'm really hoping that he can recover. So it might take a couple hours. I know sometimes koi can kind of go into shock if they're out of the water. But they also can be pretty resilient, so hoping for the best. Here's the rest of his little friends down there. Anyway, I'm gonna check in, just keep the water flowing, and hopefully he'll recover and doesn't have too much damage from the fall onto the stone. Starting to see a bit more movement here from Rewa, which is really encouraging. See him moving his pec fins a little bit. Gills flapping. He's got that nice aerated water coming in. Okay, even a little tail movement here. These are the two items that I use to resuscitate the koi. A small submersible pump. This one is, the max is like 110 liters per hour. It's a little bit strong. So I think like a small one that produces a flow, but it's not gonna blast your koi, because you start by just putting this up to their open mouth. So it's moving some water over their gills. And you can use a little bubbler like this that you put next to it to kind of like make sure that that water's really aerated. But you don't need to blow actual bubbles into their gills so much. Just make sure that there's aerated water flowing. And it might take a while. It took like definitely, an hour of having this flowing pretty close before he started showing signs of recovery. So about 1:35 now, really starting to see some signs of life. This is great. I got his life support system set up at about noon, so it's 95 minutes or so. It's 2:10 p.m. now. Definitely starting to see a bit more movement. Liveliness. Still laying on his side, so hopefully he'll be able to recover more movement, get up and start swimming around under his own power soon. You can see he's kind of trying Getting this feel for his body back. So you can see now he's able to hold himself right side up, able to move around a little bit. I think things are looking a lot better from him, which is just amazing because I was almost certain he was dead when I picked him up motionless and bloody this morning. It's been a matter of, it's been about almost 6 hours. And here he is, back swimming around, moving, breathing, hopefully okay. We're acting a little weird, but he did survive a very near death, possibly temporary death experience. And here's Rewa back in the pond, catching up with his friend Goju Chang, moving around. I'm sure he's happy to be alive. I'm so happy he's recovered. It's just a real miracle.